Hello, my name is Special70, and in this video I will be teaching you how to use SQL variables and have a deeper understanding on how to use them. So first things first, that in a short explanation is that SQL variables behave similar to the variables that are typically used in programming. So you can open the UI for the SQL variables by typing /score variables, and as you can see, we have yet to create one. So let's just type score variables create. For this video, let's type test variable. You might be wondering, why am I using a dash or a minus sign? It's because if I decided to use a underscore symbol, there would be issues when parsing its placeholder form. So as much as possible, use this symbol if you want to, let's say, create a sentence as a name for that variable. So let's just press enter. As you can see, we are sent to this specific editor. In the type part, as you can see, there are three options: the number, the string, and the list type. For the number, it will store decimal values. You can also make it display the integer version, but I will explain it later. In the string part, it is literally what it says. It can store text values. And for the list part, it behaves similarly to arrays, but it only stores string types, not double or number types. Now for the for part, we are presented with two options: the global and the player option. For the global part, if you assign any value to this score variable and decided to parse the placeholder to any player, it will provide the same value across all players. But if you use this player option, if you decided to assign value to a player, that value will be exclusive to that player only. And here is the default option. So what may be the significance of this option? So for example, in a lifesteal SMP server, you want to properly track down the supposed amount of health a player has. And with the help of this, for example, there are new players, so you want to have a number that you can use as reference, but you want it to work properly and you don't want to have trouble implementing system. So you can just type any value, for example 20. So which means that for a new player, you can expect the value to be 20, and then you can just, for example, it's 20. Yes, it will be like, you can modify it properly. If you do some practice, you can have a deeper understanding on how this works. But in summary, it's just like a default value, because to begin with, there's literally no value. Okay, so the icon part, its main purpose is for organization purposes. There's no deeper significant purpose. It's just an icon for admins to be able to browse through the UI while being able to instantly know what kind of variable is this for. So for example, let's save this first. Okay, so for example, there are lots of variables here in this UI, but you want to easily find which one you're looking for. So you would change the icon to something that's very easy to identify. So this is the purpose of the icon option. Okay, now let's save. There are more things that I should be talking about, since if it's a tutorial about SQL variables, but in this video I will just be explaining about the practical usage of it. If you have more concern issues or inquiries, you can just go to the Discord server or check the wiki. So let's start about the technical stuff as we're supposed to discuss in this video. SCORE is supported by placeholder API, which means you can use brackets. So for example, let's just check the SCORE variable value of the SQL variable that we have created. Let's type parse me for variables test variable. As you can see, it's a value of 20, but since it's supported by placeholder API, you can just write it in, like, combine it with other placeholder API variables such as the math expansion, so you can just type it and it will work properly. Let's just check. It's a number, okay. And okay, so for other uses, since it's supported by placeholder API, if other plugins support placeholder API too, it can also support the SCORE variables placeholders. So as you can see here in this hologram, I'm using this holograms plugin here, and as you can see, I can utilize the value of the SQL variable. So let's just edit this SQL variable to see what would happen. Variable modification global. This is what happened earlier is kind of slight, or like a tiny issue, but not very critical, as it's supposed to, because it displayed the decimal, which is natural, and it's supposed to behave like that. So now that it displays a decimal value, now let me show you how to make it display without the decimal value. So let's type parse me for variables test variable. Okay, this one has a variable, but if you type int at the end, it will remove the decimal part. And before ending this video, I know this is not very informal, I mean very not informational, but I'm just explaining the tiny parts of this kind of variables, and there's nothing, I cannot really teach you how to utilize these to the best, because the executable plugins are designed for people who want to create things and create complex things by using features instead of pre-made options. So if once you know how to understand and utilize these variables, it will be a great asset for your server.